Hey, what's going on, everybody? James here, Jimmy Screens, Mr. Chiller, as my new name says in firedupfishtanks.ning.com. First off, I want to give a really big shout out to MrMom, Jflesh, firedupaquatics.net. You guys really hooked it up, man. I mean, my tank right there speaks loudly as far as what I had received, is the quality of the plants. I'm really happy here. I also want to give a really big shout out to SlimTim. Him and I were texting for a good 30-40 minutes. Then I asked him a question about some of these plants and where I should put them. And then I got this bright idea. I'm like, why don't I just call him and we'll make a little party out of this. And that's exactly what I did. We made a little party out of this. I had him on the phone. I was taking pictures, and SlimTim helped me rescape this tank. I mean, putting in all the new plants anyways. So I guess you could call it virtual scaping if you like. But yeah, via phone, SlimTim and I worked this tank out, and I think it looks awesome. The only thing that Slim didn't help me with, but he did help me with as far as where to put it, would be that actual moss up on top of the wood up there. That was his idea as far as which part of the wood to actually go with. I was going to put some on that lower branch, but you know, I'll wait until some of it grows back out. Really cool looking moss, MrMom and Jflesh. That's the willow moss. It ends up growing up, according to Tim, like the willow tree, to where like the weeping willow. Can't even talk. To where it actually droops over once it gets to a certain length. So that's going to look really awesome. It's going to be swaying around in the water. But again, I want to thank you, SlimTim, my Dirt Brother. I think it looks awesome, man. I think we did a really good job here. Really great. And for the record, give me 1 second here. I want to kind of apologize to MrMom about the shipping thing. I never really look at shipping anyways. I mean, it is what it is. I was looking at the box when I had said that it was $12. Totally forgetting that it definitely was $8. So I just want to reiterate on that it was $8 shipping. And I just want to clear that up. And as far as the packing list, I mean, that was more like a joke anyways. I mean, yeah, sure, it would have helped and whatnot. But, I mean, I could always get a hold of whoever. And plus, you know, go on the computer and just get my order off the computer in the first place. So I was just kind of busting on him. I bust on everybody at firedupfishtanks.ning.com. They should know that by now. That's my nature. I like to have fun and cut it with people. So it's all good and it's all for fun, you know. But for the record, I'm just going to read off the plants that I definitely have. I got the dwarf hairgrass. Really digging that, because you definitely can't get that stuff out here. The dwarf sage, I originally called it the Japonica. Really wasn't positive until I actually pulled out Japonica. Again, it resembled the dwarf sage to me, but I really wasn't sure if I had ordered it or not. So that was definitely the dwarf sage. Then you got the Blixa Japonica, which is, it's actually a really nice plant. I'm going to show you guys everything, how it's all looking and whatnot. Giant Hydrophila, really nice plant. I believe it was 3 of them. I'm not really positive. I didn't look at my list or whatnot. But it is what it is. I'm not sure how many is in my tank. I think it was quite a few stems actually of that thing. The glossostigma, that's that plant you see in the front down there in two different sections. That was a royal pain in the butt to get down in there. That was stem by stem. There was a couple of them that was just clumped as far as growing wise. So, you know, I just put them in there since they were connected to the mother plant and whatnot. But yeah, it's a pretty tricky little thing to plant. That's why I went with the sand, because the sand will definitely hold that down. You can see where it's waving. That's where my filter actually is coming down and dropping the water right on top of them. So that'll be a big test for those really small rooty type plants. Once they get going though, I've seen pictures, Slim was sending me some pictures of it. That's gonna look totally sick. I mean, it is one really awesome carpeting plant. So I'm really stoked about that. The Rotala Luigia. Slim and I have been busting each other's chops all night trying to figure out how to say that. Luigia, or however you say it, the Rotala. Really nice looking plant. It's got like its reddish color to it. It's definitely an iron loving plant. It's got a couple of really new growths up on the top of it. So I'm pretty stoked about that one. Definitely not going to find that out here where I'm at. Again, the willow moss. I had ordered the two. He sent another one. Real big abundance of the moss. I could have actually separated that more and put it elsewhere, but I just wanted to get it up on that piece of wood. That was the last thing I did in this tank. So I drained half the tank, put the moss, and then filled it back up. Again, thank you for the fish line, MrMom. Really do appreciate it. That 4-pound test is like gold to me right now. Alright. And then last but not least is the Luigia Cuban or Cuba Incolata. That's the plant in the background over there. There's like a whole row. Probably about 12 inches worth of plant going across right there. So really nice looking plant. I called it Reppins. Like I said, I'm bad with names, so really didn't know exactly. I knew it was a Luigia, I just didn't know what version of it. But it's definitely the Cuba. So that's all the plants that I did definitely get. Total of 8 plants. Really digging them. I'm gonna show you some close-up here real quick, and then I'm going to get off here because I know you guys just got done watching that long unboxing video. That was some video. I don't mean to make these long videos, guys, really, it just sort of happens. So right, first off, I want to start off with the Luigia Japonica. It's looking good, but one thing I'm noticing is there's a little bit of melt going on, so I don't know if it's just going from transition to transition as far as the water of it, you know, from one tank to the other, whatever the case may be. But down inside the center, it looks like it's really green, so I'm pretty positive that this is going to be doing just fine. I don't have no fear in my plants when it comes to getting them in my tanks and whatnot and getting them rolling. I noticed that a lot of detritus just came out from behind back here. Oh, for the record real quick, when I was doing the actual moss up here, the angelfish didn't realize that it was back in there, and I don't know if he was sleeping or what, but that rock came down and it killed my angelfish. So yeah, Princess Bubblegum got it. I saw it come up from underneath there and I was just like heartbroken. So yeah, there goes the angelfish. Really upset about that. Didn't realize it was back behind there. It usually sits up on the left side of the corner of the tank. So sorry for that. But yeah, the rock came down and I think apparently it trapped it to where it kept its gills closed. I was in there for about 35 minutes, I guess, tying the moss. Didn't even realize it. So it really sucks. But, you know, I guess it's going to happen in the hobby, unfortunately. So anyways, I went ahead and moved all the valve from back here. It's all back down in here now. A lot of it melted. That was pretty crazy because I never had valve melt ever. So, yeah, it's melting. Back over in here, that's the hygrophila or hygrophila. I don't know the scientific scientific term off the top of my head, but it's another type of hygrophila. There's so much of it. There's like 13 species of the stuff, so you know it's one of those. Also, this is the Luigia Cuba, back there in the back. Beautiful stem plant, lots of stems. I mean, these guys were huge. They're like, I'd say between 10, maybe up to 12 inches. Really thick. Some of them were close to 1/4 of an inch thick at the base. So really happy about that. Then over here is the Luigia, or whatever you call it. The Rotala. I'm just going to call it Rotala just to save it some justice. Yeah, that's the Rotala. Really nice looking plant. Really, really nice. Again, SlimTim helped me do everything on the phone, guys. So, really awesome. It was kind of ironic. It was supposed to be all the Luigia over here, and then we were going to put this over in here or something. It got all mixed up, so it turned into a big funny thing. But it still looks good because it's going to be red and green, red and green. But man, that's it. And then down in here, that's all the, oh God, what do you call it? Let me get my sheet. These names drive me crazy. The Glossostigma, yeah, that's the one. Glossostigma. That's all this. It's actually planted individually. I don't know if you can really tell it, but for the most part, 99% of it's planted individually. There's some of the plants that just happen to be rooted together from like being a mother plant and what have you, so I just left them. But yeah, that's all individually planted, and also right over here. This one you could tell a lot better. That was the extra because I ran out of space over there. I didn't want to crowd it too bad. There's the narrow sage right in here. It's looking really good. The pinwheel, it's doing really good. It's starting to bring back some new life. And also, I believe it's the red flame sword is actually what it's called. Not positive. Maybe Lup Diesel can chime in on that one. But that's the red flame, I believe. Over here is the dwarf hair. Some of them are a little bit longer in some spots, but that's kind of like my whiskers. Some of them just go a little wild. And what are you going to do? But yeah, that's that. So that's it. And then my Java moss, or yeah, Java moss, my willow moss comes all the way up here, all the way across, and then right goes all the way to the back over here. Really, really nice moss. I'm really digging this stuff. That's some amazing looking moss. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my Java moss still, but I'm really curious to see how this is going to look once it grows out, because it just looks really nice. And then also back here in the back I added some. So all tied down, really nice and tight. Thanks again, MrMom, for the 4-pound test fish line. Really do appreciate it. That's it, guys. I think it looks pretty awesome. I hope you all enjoyed. With that, firedupaquatics.net, firedupfishtanks.ning.com, And also a shout out to darethereef.ning.com. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye bye.